Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty cool stuff to go over. We have some new leak updates regarding Pokemon Legends ZA and we also have some new Nintendo Switch 2 details to go over as well. A lot of things to break down and take a look at today. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below. It's trying at 500 likes, really does help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, we have Riddler-Ku replying to some more comments regarding Pokemon Legends ZA. This is in relation to this whole, getting excited for the 30th. Never thought they'd begin preparing for it this early. We covered this tweet a few days ago, but since then he has replied to more comments and kind of given a little bit more information and stuff. Again, nothing crazy, but whenever he kind of, replies, it's always a potential bit of new information in regards to the new game. Again, you can choose to believe him if you want. You can choose to not believe him. I don't blame you at all. His track record is really, really shaky at the moment. But either way, I'm just going to cover what he's been saying. So make your own assumption about it. But either way, this is what he has said. So, obviously, he was talking about Ikaku, obviously Legends ZA, not being VGC compatible as you may have expected. Reckon other juice squeeze soon. Again, no idea what he meant by that other juice squeeze soon thing. But like I said, we covered all this in the last video about Riddler-Ku. But anyway, this is the latest replies and stuff. So we have Patrick here saying, I'm guessing we get something for Legends ZA in September or October, which would be 8 to 9 months out from hinted release date. The trailer will be similar to most starter trailers with no real gameplay, but we'll get to see the game soon. Or some of the game or something like that. And we have Riddler-Ku here saying that the gameplay footage is necessary for a new trailer, he thinks. So I don't think this is him saying, the next trailer is definitely going to have gameplay footage. I think this is him saying, the next trailer should probably have gameplay footage. It's kind of necessary for the next trailer to have gameplay footage, and I think he's right in that regards, because obviously, if we have a game that's announced in February of this year, and let's say we get obviously that initial reveal trailer, and then we get another reveal trailer, another trailer in August or whatever, and neither of the trailers that we get this year show gameplay, that's really, really, really bad. So you'd like to think in the next trailer, we will be seeing gameplay, we will be seeing the starters. Again, Riddler-Ku has already said the next trailer will show the starters, so, and they've already been picked. The Pokemon Center kind of merchandise is already being made and stuff like that. So that's what I mean, you got to keep an eye out for the kind of Pokemon Center merchandise. If there's any starter Pokemon, they're getting a little bit more kind of attention than other starters, then it's probably best to assume that they're going to be the starters for Legends ZA, because obviously the production of all the starters and stuff has to happen relatively early. But either way, yeah, we have Riddler-Ku here basically saying that the gameplay footage is necessary for the next trailer. But that's, again, he's saying he thinks. So this isn't him saying the next trailer is definitely going to have gameplay footage. This is just him saying that he thinks it's going to have it. But again, I think we all think that the next trailer is going to have gameplay footage anyway, because I feel like it definitely needs it. But either way, that's the first thing. Next up, we have him here, again, replying to this post here by Daniel, saying that Ikaku, so Legends ZA, is nice and all, but it not being relevant to VGC, pretty obvious. It makes me wonder what they'll do with Scarlet and Violet to keep it somewhat relevant until Gen 10 hits, because you got to think that Scarlet and Violet came out in, 2022? 2023, we had the DLC. 2024, we have nothing. 2025, we have Legends ZA. And then 2026, we have Generation 10. So that's 22 to 23, 23 to 24, 24 to 25, 25 to 26. And then obviously 26, which is the 5th year, is when we're going to get a new kind of competitive game. So how are they going to keep Scarlet and Violet kind of, I guess, relevant for 5 years? It's absolutely ridiculous, because Legends ZA is not going to have any online battles according to Riddler-Ku, or it's not going to have any VGC stuff, which again is the likeliest outcome, just simply because Legends Arceus didn't have it. So we're not getting a game this year, potentially. Legends ZA next year with no online, and then obviously 2026 for Pokemon Generation 10. So that's so long, from 22 till 2026. Is going to be no online, no other game having any sort of online battling, which again it's going to be very, very stale. Scarlet and Violet is already stale. They can only do so many things. They're obviously already doing the kind of restricted legendary battles and stuff now, and we still have, next year, and then if 2026 doesn't have Generation 10 come out early, got to get all the way to November 2026 for that game to come out. So what kind of other online battle stuff are they going to be doing? The raids are already kind of about to run out with the starters and stuff. Like, they might just replay all of the starter raids, which would be the worst, but I could see them doing that because they have nothing else to do. But anyway, we have Riddler saying, you know, the 2 box legendaries battle and some special rule set for the next 2 years. So, like I say, you know, box legendary battles and special rule sets for the next 2 years is most likely going to be the situation. Yeah, he's saying for the next 2 years. So obviously, I'm assuming that's 2025 and 2026, and obviously it's coming out late 2026 because we've got most of 2026 with Scarlet and Violet as well. So yeah, he's basically here saying, you know, there's going to be, you know, special rule sets and stuff, and you know, 2 box legendary battles and stuff for the next 2 years. So like I say, it's just increasingly showing how stale the Scarlet and Violet game is going to get, and it's not even like they're like the complete game either. You know, the amount of bugs and the lag and the frame drops, they're not the best. They're not the most fun games to play. You know, not a lot of people are playing Scarlet and Violet at the moment just because of, you know, there's nothing to do now, and the games are unplayable in certain situations. So, yeah, not great at all. Moving on, though, we also have this post here. So, this is in response to that Trainer D saying, I'm just wondering if Xerneas and Yveltal will get new forms. And he does reply to this, but he doesn't really give any information. He just says 10%, 50%, etc. Just like Zygarde did get with the 10% form, the 50% form, like the tree form and the cocoon form. And then he doesn't reply to it again after that. So the fact that he replied to it is obviously very, very interesting. I still think that they're probably going to get forms. You know, whenever there's been some sort of, not remake, but another kind of delve into that region. We had it with Auras, with the primal forms, with obviously Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon in Pokemon Legends Arceus, which was a dive back into Sinnoh. We got origin forms of Dialga and Palkia. So you think that like a dive back into Kalos would have something to do with Xerneas and Yveltal getting new forms? We know they have a complete form that we haven't seen yet, so that very well could get shown. But he's saying here, you know, 10%, 50%, etc., like tree form and cocoon form. So like maybe the tree form is like the 10% form, Xerneas is the 50% form, and then it has like 100% complete form as well. Same for Yveltal. But yeah, it's just interesting that he replied to this comment, because he kind of picks and chooses who he replies to and the comments that he replies to. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit of a hint towards us actually getting some sort of new form for Xerneas and Yveltal from this comment here. The next one that he has to go over as well is quite a bad one as well. And I feel like him replying to this is really, really bad. It really, really hurts his like credibility. It's already bad. Like his credibility isn't great at the moment. But stuff like this is just, you know, it's not really the best thing ever. But either way, obviously this is in a response to the 30th anniversary thing. So we have Ditto saying, me when I'm baiting, being vague because I have no idea what I'm saying and I've gotten so much wrong recently. And then we have Riddler replying to this saying, the only source online who gave the code name of the game and you just can't understand. So sad. So basically when Legends EA was being announced, he did, in fairness to him, drop a tweet not long before Legends EA about the code name of the game. But for me, I feel like he found that out literally at that point. I feel like his source told him at that point, Legends EA is going to come out, this is the code name, and so he posted that because he had made absolutely zero reference to Pokemon Legends EA before this. You know, he literally, the day of the presents, he posted that, or maybe like the day before. Before that, there was zero indication about this Generation 6 Pokemon game. So yeah, again, and it carries on. We have Luigi here saying, yes, Unova game he was teasing, and then he's saying, you know, Babe got baited, but like he was literally teasing a Unova game for basically a year. I don't think he was baiting people for a year. I feel like he got it all wrong, and this is the bad thing about him. You know, he literally, if he gets something right, he loves it. You know, he kind of he loves the kind of like the spotlight, but when he gets something wrong, and he gets something this wrong, he just says that it was joking and he was just baiting people. So that's the worst thing about him. You know, he doesn't come out and be like, I got it wrong. You know, like his track record, he is quote unquote a leaker. He leaked a lot of stuff about Scarlet and Violet. You know, why can't he just come out and be like, look, I got it wrong. You know, I was told misinformation. You know, it might hurt my credibility, but going forward, you know, I'm gonna like, I know this or this or this, you know what I mean? But the fact that he's always backpedaling and he's always saying, oh no, I was joking, I was baiting everybody for a year, I just think it's a little bit embarrassing. It is a little bit embarrassing. That's all I'm going to really say on that subject. But that's the thing, like, obviously with Pyoro, he said about the Generation 5 stuff that he'd heard, like, something about it being worked on, it was outsourced, but he said, like, don't believe it, 100%, like, I'm not sure. That's what we needed Riddler to say, but he's just not, he just cannot be wrong. He just cannot be wrong. Even if he is obviously wrong, he'll come out and say that he got baited and stuff or whatever. But either way, that's just, again, something that kind of hurts his credibility and stuff there. But yeah, it doesn't look like Generation 5 games are coming this year at all. You know, we've got even Riddler now saying that it's not happening. So in this August Presents, you know, Pokemon Pocket, Pokemon Legends EA, mobile game stuff, it's basically going to be it. I don't think there's going to be any surprise announcement this year. I don't think there's going to be any ports or anything like that. It's just going to be a dry year for Pokemon. I feel like now we have to kind of just understand that this year is just dead for Pokemon. Like, it's not a good year for Pokemon at all. Pocket might be fun. Might be fun for a little bit. Might do really well. Who knows? We don't really have like a mobile Pokemon trading card game at the moment. So that's like that. So hopefully it does well. But like I say, I don't think it's going to do anywhere near as well as bringing in like a new Pokemon game. But either way, that's that. Let me know your thoughts on all the stuff that he's been saying. Like I say, nothing like really crazy. Just kind of his 2 cents on different situations. And then like I say, stuff like this is just, yeah, it's a little bit embarrassing, really. Anyway, though, let's move on to some Switch 2 stuff. We have VGC here posting saying Nintendo says its main plan to avoid Nintendo Switch 2 scalping is to make enough of them to meet demand in the first place. So, obviously, when the PlayStation 5 came out, the scalping for that was ridiculous. They did not make enough. And, you know, you were buying it at retail for like, whatever, $400, $500. People were selling it for like double, even triple that, just because it was so difficult to get your hands on a console. And basically, Nintendo are coming out and saying that's not going to happen. They're going to avoid scalping by basically making enough to meet demand in the first place. Now, I don't know how they can really guess how many people are going to buy. I'm assuming they're just going to look at like past kind of console sales and stuff like that, but hopefully they do make enough. But Nintendo says it wants to avoid Switch 2 scalping by making enough to meet demand. President Furukawa says he doesn't think component shortages will be an issue. So Nintendo says the best way to stop scalping of the Switch's successor is to make enough of them in the first place. So in a Q&A during a general meeting of the shareholders, the company's executives were asked what measures they were taking place to stop reselling of its next console, given that at least years meeting they said, I think that's supposed to be last year's meeting, they said they were planning to do so. Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa replied that the company's main plan for combating scalping is to make sure players don't have to turn to resellers because they can just buy a console at retail. Furukawa said that as a countermeasure against resale, Nintendo believes that the most important thing is to produce sufficient numbers to meet customer demand. I mean, they saw what happened, like I said, with the PlayStation and stuff. They know what not to do. You know, they've kind of sat back, watched what happened with Sony, watched what happened with Microsoft, and they were like, all right, we're going to do that a little bit differently. And so it's going to be a lot better for them. So in addition, the president said Nintendo is also considering whether it can take some other measures, taking into account the circumstances in each region. Furukawa also noted the semiconductor shortage that affected numerous companies' ability to produce new hardware in recent years is no longer an issue. Then went on to say last year and the year before, we were unable to produce sufficient quantities of the Nintendo Switch hardware due to a shortage of semiconductor components, but this situation has now been resolved. At present, we do not believe that the shortage of components will have a significant impact on the production of the successor model. Nintendo confirmed in May that it will announce its next console this fiscal year, meaning the Switch's success will be revealed by the end of March 2025 at the latest. So yeah, at any point, the Nintendo Switch 2 could get announced. It could get announced next week, could get announced next month. I think it's probably going to get announced around maybe like September, October time. And then maybe that will be when they show the console. They might give a release date. They'll show games coming with the console as well, like a massive blockbuster situation, a massive presentation. And maybe we get some Legends EA stuff with that as well. If Legends EA is coming for the Nintendo Switch 2, which a lot of people are kind of thinking it might, then yeah, we might get another trailer for it then. And maybe we don't get anything in August for Pokemon. Maybe it's just waiting for the Switch 2 and they're just going to drop that trailer with the Switch 2 trailer, which again, they might even drop that in August. You don't know. Obviously, Pokemon Worlds is coming up. We're expecting something in Worlds because they always show us something at Worlds. But you never know. We've never had a year like this either, really, in recent times. So it could all be completely different. You know, usually we're expected to see a presents in February, presents in August, and maybe a little bit more information kind of like through the year. But as of right now, we've had a little bit of information in February, basically minimal information in February. And then we don't know if we're going to get anything else this year. If the game's not coming out till late next year, like I say, it's going to affect everything else. But either way, let me know your thoughts on everything that we did cover today. What are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff? Are you going to be buying one of these as quick as possible? Or are you going to wait? Again, it doesn't look like there's going to be a massive shortage of it. I still think there will be. I think it's hard to kind of determine how many people are going to buy it. And the Nintendo Switch is probably going to be the best-selling console of all time. It's very close to beating the PS2. And so getting a better version of it, everybody's going to want to get it. And I just feel like there will still be like sold out in a lot of places. I just personally think that. But either way, that's that. And then also, let me know your thoughts on everything that Riddler-Ku has said as well in recent times. Like I say, choose to believe him if you're not. I'll still cover what he says, and then you can make your own assumption. I'm just relaying the information that he's obviously been posting. But anyway, that's everything from me. Like I say, leave a comment. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Make sure to leave a like. Let's try and hit 500. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.